Hey there, I hope you're doing well. My name is Adam and today we're going to look at some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy Reddit stories, consider liking, subscribing, and maybe hitting that notification bell too. Let's get started with today's first story. Much love, everyone. Today's first story comes from Sister accuses me of stealing her BFF, ends up behind bars. So this all started yesterday, when a 22 female, had a date planned with a guy, he ended up not showing, and so naturally I texted the group chat about it. My sister is in this particular group chat. I'm guessing my sister, Sarah, 26 female, told her best friend, Jay, 27 male, about it, because a few minutes later Jay texted me to ask if I'm okay. I told him yes, just a little disappointed since I was pretty excited to try that particular restaurant. He said that he would pick me up at noon the next day, so we could go eat there. I told him it wasn't necessary, but he insisted, so I agreed, thinking nothing of it. Well, today he took me out as promised, and while we were eating, Sarah FaceTimed Jay. When he didn't answer, she called again and again. He answered the fourth call and asked her what was going on. She said that she was just checking up on us and told me to call her later. Later ended up being almost 8. Jay and I ended up spending the rest of the day together, hunting down some collectible dolls we both like and trying different dessert spots along the way on the way back to my apartment. Jay asked me to change the music on his phone. When I opened it, I saw that my sister had called him about 30 times throughout the day and texted him across multiple different apps. Jay put his phone on Do Not Disturb after lunch, so it made sense why he didn't see all those notifications. Once he dropped me off, I called my sister and asked her if everything was all right. She said yes and asked if I had forgotten to call her back sooner. I told her that I was out with Jay, so I didn't get the chance and figured it could wait since she didn't call me. She hung up, and a few minutes later I got a call from my mom. She sounded angry and told me that I should be ashamed of myself. I said sure, but why today? According to my mom, Sarah called her in tears, saying that she had caught Jay and me having sex in their apartment. I was so confused. I told my mom that I did not, in fact, have sex with Jay and that I didn't even know where they lived together. I asked her to give me a minute and I called Jay, but he didn't answer. So now I'm here laying on my floor wondering what the hell is going on and putting off another conversation with my mom. Let's get some relevant comments from the community first up. So your sister thinks she is in a romantic relationship with her best friend. Her best friend does not have feelings for her and doesn't even know he's in a relationship with your sister. Oh boy, you got yourself a delusional sister. Best of luck with that one. The OP replies, this is pretty on brand for her, so I'm used to it. He isn't, though. The next person says wait a minute, are your sister and Jay dating or are they strictly friends with no benefits? 30 missed calls and an unknown amount of texts over the course of a few hours is crazy. To lie to your mom about something that never happened is delusional. Follow up with Jay to make sure he's okay. Her behavior is quite disturbing and borderline obsessive. The OP replies yep, strictly friends. Jay called me back. He's fine, but he's not staying in his place tonight. The OP responds on not knowing her sister had a roommate, but it's not Jay. I'm not really sure how to make this clearer, which is bad because I'm a teacher. I knew my sister had a roommate that wasn't Jay. That's why, when my mom said their apartment, I told her that I didn't know they lived together. As for him having my number, he's my friend too, of course he has my number. I'm glad you don't take everything at face value. You're doing better than my parents. Also, I know I'm bad at explaining things, even more so when I'm stressed, so I don't mind explaining. It's impressive how Sarah managed to create an entire romantic saga in her head and then call the whole family to report on the imaginary scandal. Maybe she should consider writing novels. She clearly has a knack for fiction. In the meantime, Jay deserves a medal for his phone's endurance through those 30 missed calls. Update number 1 3 days later. So I'm not religious or anything like that, but Jesus Christ. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words and support. I don't know what to do with myself. Also, I meant to post an update yesterday, but my friend asked me to go watch the Miguel O'Hara movie with her, and then I just forgot. Sorry about that. I wanted to clear up some confusion before the update on my original post. When my mom told me that Sarah and Jay shared an apartment, I said I didn't even know they lived together. Those were my verbatim words to her because last I knew Sarah had a roommate and Jay lived alone. I was right, that's still the case. Sorry, I wasn't clear about that. I'm bad at expressing myself sometimes. Another thing was people were wondering how Jay found out about my date or lack thereof, and according to him, he was hanging out with a few of his friends, including my sister, and she told him about it in a joking way. Another thing is that some people are asking why I went out with Jay if I knew my sister liked him. I didn't know. Just because I talk to my sister doesn't mean she talks to me the same way. If I had known, I would have talked to her about it first, because I know from past experience that my sister is a jealous person anyway. Last night was a doozy. Jay called me back. He said he was going to stay at a friend's because he would feel safer with company. I asked him if there had ever been anything romantic between him and my sister. He said the only thing was that he kissed her at a New Year's party at midnight because she was feeling left out. Obviously, I can't confirm if that really is the only thing. He also said that he had never even talked about moving in with Sarah, so he doesn't know why she would say they were living together. After I spoke with Jay, I called my mom again. She still sounded pissed, but this time I could hear my sister crying in the background and my dad yelling to get our butts over here, our being Jay and I presumably. Well, as I told my mother earlier, I didn't have Jay's butt and I don't like to drive at night, so I told him I would go the next morning. That also gave me time to gather any evidence I could to prove my innocence. Jay even sent me a copy of his lease to prove that he and Sarah do not live together. I went to my parents alone because Jay has a job. As soon as I arrived, my parents started yelling at me, just the usual stuff, that I was disrespectful, but they never expected this from me. How dare you do this to your own sister? You know she already has a hard time. Why make her life harder? My dad even called me a that was fun. I kind of just sat there and did the math on how much faster I would be able to finish my grad program and flee the country, or at least the state. I wasn't very tuned in until my mom told me that if Sarah lost her job because of me, I would need to financially support her until she found another one. That's when I snapped and told them that if they thought I was going to do that, then they were as delusional as my sister. Missing one day of work because of a tantrum over something that didn't even happen was not going to get her fired. My dad said that Sarah had been missing work to make sure that Jay wasn't leaving work early to go see me. I found out. My sister also told him that Jay was missing a lot of work, so he wasn't taking home enough for the bills, so they had been sending her rent money for months. I told them it wasn't true, and I showed them the lease that Jay sent where it clearly says the day the lease started and when it ends. It also has his address, which is not the same as Sarah's. My mom brought Sarah out of her room where she had apparently been this entire time and told her to explain herself. Sarah said that he probably got that other apartment so that he could be closer to me when he went on supposed business trips. First of all, while Jay is a software developer, I don't know what business trips he would go on. Second, nice way to find out that my sister doesn't even know where I live, because Jay's apartment is almost an hour away from mine. I showed my parents that on Google Maps, and they finally started to believe me. Sarah started crying and calling me a liar. My dad told me that even if what I said was true, I shouldn't have been so hard on Sarah and that, as her sister, I should be helping her when she's having a rough time like this. I told him I wasn't a therapist, but if she ever decided to get help, I would pitch in. I left after that. There was nothing else I needed to say, and there was no point in waiting for an apology. My dad looked uncomfortable, and my mom was too busy consoling my sister to notice me leaving. I haven't talked to them since. Sorry if you were expecting a fun update where I somehow got revenge on my sister or something crazy and petty. If you have questions, I'll probably answer. Thanks for caring, though, and those of you that shared your own stories under my original post, dang, sorry you went through that. Now, let's check back in with the community for some more comments. Has your dad seriously not apologized to you for calling you a? I'm sorry for what you and Jay are dealing with just for hanging out. Your family seems to really suck. I do hope you told Jay that apparently she is following him, though. The op responded. I told Jay everything after the whole thing. He said he was going to try to get a restraining order. Someone else chimes in. Have you always known your sister was a golden child? Is that why you prepped your proof? You were so prepared to defend yourself. It seems you've done it a lot. Edit. Also, your parents are not concerned that way, which stalked and harassed a man out of his home. Has your sister ever faced any consequences? The op replies, I'm not used to being believed, so yeah. That's why I went prepared. I don't know what's up with my parents right now. I haven't spoken to them since. The only time I've seen my parents angry at my sister was when she crashed the family car, so yes, she has faced at least one consequence. Maybe your sister's auditioning for a role in the next psychological thriller starring as the obsessive character who confuses reality with her own twisted fantasies. Kudos to you for surviving that marathon of nonsense. Your dad calling you charming, clearly he's missing his call as a motivational speaker, and your mom, so wrapped up in Sarah's crocodile tears that she didn't even notice you walking out the door. Family of the year material right there. Your preparation was spot on, though. Going in with evidence was like bringing a nuke to a knife fight. Sarah's reaction to hard facts classic. She should take her delusional detective work to the big leagues, CSI, Imaginary Crimes Division, and bless him trying to get a restraining order. Can't blame the guy for wanting some peace. Maybe suggest you also invest in a new phone plan with unlimited Do Not Disturb mode. Update 2. 1 year later. I don't really know how to start this post, but I felt obligated to write an update after everyone sent me so much love and support. There were a couple of questions I saw pending when I logged back in, so I'll answer those first. Jay got a permanent restraining order against my sister. It took some months and a lot more harassment, but he does have that now. I asked why my sister was lying to get money from our parents. I couldn't tell you. I don't know where all the money was going, but I'm pretty sure that she lied because she didn't want them to be disappointed in her. A lot has happened, but to sum it up, my sister was arrested for violating the restraining order and breaking into my home. My parents were furious with me after I didn't help bail her out. They blame me for her getting arrested and getting fired from the 3 jobs she's had since my last post. Since then, I've not had any contact with my mom or my sister. My dad called to wish me a happy new year, but that's about it. Also, I finished my master's and after countless job applications and rejections, I finally found a job in my field. It's far away from where I currently live, which is a major plus. I'm sad to be leaving my friends, but I'm so excited to start this new chapter in my life. I think overall, I'm in a much better place mentally than I was when I first came on to write my post. I intended to use Reddit as a tool for journaling, but I think that didn't really work out for me, so I found different methods to express and reflect on my feelings and situations. I think I'll still use my account, but probably just for trivial things that will hopefully not get very much attention. Your parents blaming you for getting arrested is classic. How dare you not support your sister's burgeoning criminal career? Next thing you know, they'll be accusing you of not helping her with her jailbreak plans. At least your dad managed a begrudging Happy New Year. Maybe next year, he'll work up to a full sentence. On the brighter side, major congrats on finishing your master's and landing a job in your field. I'm going to turn this one over to you. What do you make of this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time mean the world to me. So, thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.